Look, I'm wanting to clear all this stuff up about God and everything because I'm tired of everybody fighting. And I just wish everyone could have or know at least the truth behind this and why and what's happened over the 6,000 years or however long that everyone's added their own perspectives and perception and their own spins and just keep it simple and basic. And perhaps we can maintain some kind of peace in this lifetime. All right, I'm going to try to clear up any preconceived notions about God. Now, a lot of people think, well, there can't be a God because there's so much bad things in the world that happens. All right, well, it's not the responsibility of anyone else but ourselves to make sure that that stuff doesn't happen. All right, but any preconceived notions, I'm going to keep this as simple and as blatantly plain as it can be with pure facts. Okay? All right. In Christianity or monotheism, all right, because there's only one God, and I'll explain why there's only one God, and you'll understand exactly why here in a second. The Creator, the ruler of the universe, and source of all moral authority, the supreme being. All right? The supreme being. Okay, being means existence. The supreme existence. All right? Living, life, animation, reality, actuality, lifeblood, vital force, entity, essence, the nature. Okay? It sounds to me like the supreme existence, or God, is this. The universe. Okay? Now, you might think, well, if God's perfect, then how's the universe perfect? Well, obviously, any physicist knows that the four fundamental forces of nature are perfect. Okay? If they were not perfect, we would not have everything that we know. So, God is infallible. And if you've watched any movies that talk about God being infallible or can't be proved wrong or whatever, and it undoes everything, it uncreates everything, this is exactly what it means. So Hollywood definitely knows something. All right, now understanding the nature of God is understanding plasma. Okay, now 666 is the beast number, and how ironically it coincides with everything involving Earth and its axis and the universe. See, the speed of the globe, the curvature, 1 mile squared, the axial tilt. It's understanding the nature of the universe. That's what plasma is. That's why 369 and 666 coincide with each other. All right, brain neurons, okay? Ironically, everything about the human brain parallels the universe, okay? Especially when it comes down to brain neurons and synapse firing or supernova going off, like micronovas going off in our brain, that is the synapse, okay? Ironically, this is all made of plasma, which is living energy, because anything that is plasma is alive. And notice how the fifth element, on Lilu, on the movie The Fifth Element, she is the fifth element. She's alive. She's living energy. She's plasma, all right? Like on Captain Planet, for example, heart, okay? Heart is plasma. That's life. See what I'm saying? So plasma is the fifth element, which is the nature of life. Plasma. This God particle is no different. It's composed completely of pure plasma. Protons, neutrons, and electrons, okay? This soupy plasma created this quantum embryo. I call it a quantum embryo because that's basically what it is. Everything, all life came from this. Okay, so if it's a quantum embryo and everything was created in 6 days, why is it that 6 days it goes into blastocyst? All right, blast, bang, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's a little ironic. Another 6 in there. And ironically, if it's a big quantum embryo, 6 days later, which I've figured in Genesis, it looks like 1 day is 750 million years. Because if you read Genesis, everything seems to coincide exactly when a new epoch came on the scene. And it seems to be divided up into 750 million years. All right. Ironically, the Ark of the Covenant's measurements always end up being 666 also. Okay, ironically, 750 million times 6 is 4.5 billion. All right. Now, when you do the math and you figure that basically our solar system has orbited our galaxy 18 times. 6 times 3, or 666, is 18. Okay, eukaryotes and prokaryotes, life basically on this planet began in the cosmic year of 6.666. All right? All right. The Word of God, all right, It's simply a word, just like car or truck or fan, all right? And it has a definition, okay? Like I was stating at the beginning, the word is God, and it has a definition that created everything, omnipresent, and all of the such that we know of as God, all right? That would be the universe, okay? It's a simple word, okay? It talks about our origins, okay? This is God. It's the universe. Okay? Holy Ghost. All right? Holy. What is a hole? It's empty space. What is a ghost? It has no form, no gender. So the Holy Ghost would be the universe. All right? The beginning and the end. I am the beginning, I am the end. Basically, the universe is the beginning and the universe is the end. And it all boils down to plasma. See? Plasma filaments. All right? And everything, like I said, that coincides with the universe parallels the human's mind. And the universe has its own cosmic consciousness, its own cosmic intelligence. That's where we get intelligent design from. That's where we see intelligent design from. Because the universe has its own design. See? Here's Bolshoi, or the universe. Literally, there is a center of the universe, and humans are not it. Revelations 13:18. Here is the wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of man, and his number is 666. That is the knowledge and nature of the universe and understanding of plasma and the nature of God. Because plasma is everything that is carbon-based, life form, okay? Everything that is alive is composed of plasma. It's a carbon-based life form, okay? 666 is carbon. 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, okay? Plasma and carbon coincide with this beast number, which ironically coincides with a lot of cosmology, which is the nature and understanding of the universe, okay? So understanding this nature of the universe, the 666 isn't saying like the Bible's evil or anything's evil. What it is this knowledge. It's understanding this power that can destroy us because we have to be responsible. And like the pyramids, the Ark of the Covenant produced plasma, okay? Alpha and Omega, okay? Alpha particles, which is nuclear energy, or the strong force, and Omega, which is the weak force, which is electronic energy. You always have your nucleus, which is your alpha, your nuclear energy, and your covalent energy, your electron energy, okay? Quarks and leptons, okay? The infinite static of the universe, plasma, all right? They understood this. These far ancients understood this and used this alpha and omega in the pyramids, because everything coinciding with the pyramids is 369 or 666. Like they are 6,666 kilometers apart, all of them on the 33rd, which is 6, and parallel line. All right, these ancient structures. These caused the cataclysm. This knowledge was suppressed for thousands and thousands of years. And the ancient, like the Illuminati, the Freemasons, no wonder it's on the back of the dollar bill. They know the nature of God. Okay? They know in God we trust. They know the nature of the universe. And they know that these pyramids are what caused this cataclysm, and these pyramids coincide with the nature of God and plasma or fusion. Now I'm just going to throw this one out there. All right? China, with the tokamak, they keep working on it. Okay? They're working on a fusion generator. Okay? A star. Now, they're going to have to use thermoelectric generators to be able to make this work, because this free flux in space, every star has a free flux in space, and all of the energy gets swept off into the universe, into space. But they're trying to cage this star, and it can't free flux. That's why it causes these magnetic islands, okay, and these flux problems, because they're not transitioning that energy into electrical energy. They're not sweeping it off like they need to. And this could either cause a big giant explosion and scorch that side of the planet or something, or anything. Or we could all start building these things, and then eventually something go wrong and we scorch ourselves. But that's what the Bible is warning us, that this knowledge is what killed these ancients, and it's potentially going to kill us too. See, once you understand these radioisotope thermoelectric generators, or if you have a thermoelectric generator inside another thermoelectric generator and it's creating a small star, then you can convert all of that energy, and you can have small ones, and you could actually have a portable power source that is nuclear. And this will introduce us to the metaphysical world. This would make us gods, essentially. Now, we would not be nothing like the true God, the one and only God in the universe, all right? But we will be like semi-gods or demigods, you know? We will have the knowledge and understanding and things that we see in movies that we think is all sci-fi, but it's actually real. We have this potential. This is the knowledge. It's the understanding the nature of God in the universe. Now, I'm just going to throw this out there too. Now, since China's working on this, and it says in the Bible that an army of 200 million strong is going to conquer, how do we know that they don't use this thing, or might not use this thing as some kind of weapon, and they basically take over the world? I mean, I know it sounds, I'm just throwing that out there, all right? Just throwing that out there, you know, just to kind of keep some people aware, maybe, because I'm sure I'm not the only paranoid person out there, all right? But all of these are connections. These are just the quickest and fastest connections that I could put in this video to not make it an hour or 2 hours long, because I've found so much more. I mean, there are so many more sixes, and so much more data, and so much more in other pyramid structures like Teotihuacan and Tiwanaku and all of these other structures, all right? I'm just bringing the closest, the most knowledge, you know, the most knowledgeable information out the front. You know, I'm trying to just throw the quickest info out that has connections, because I'm sure that someone else out there like me is going to be like, wow, that's some pretty interesting stuff. I got to look into that. And then they'll start looking into it, and you'll start finding out that this stuff is actually true. Now, this is a plasma universe. This is with the solids, liquids, and gases, and the rest of it's plasma. All right? Then you have the Big Bang Theory. Okay? There's too many holes in this. This actually solves, from everything that I've figured out, it solves a lot of quantum physics questions and problems that physicists are running into. See, plasma cosmology is real. For some reason, they suppress it. They don't want people knowing. And I believe it's because they know that once we understand this, it's going to put us into a new industrial revolution of technology and understanding the nature of the universe and physics. Okay? And they are afraid that our understanding of this will destroy us. I mean, when you think about it, look, the flatness that they see in space, okay, they don't know what this flatness is. This flatness is the plane of existence. And we say it all the time, a plane, flat plane, or plane existence, all right? We say all of this stuff, all of these things, we say and see every day, but we don't correlate them, okay? We don't make the connections or see the dots because we see it every day. But the flatness they see is a plane of existence. It's one flat plane of existence, okay? And the curvature that they see in space is the depth of it, all right? Deep space. See what I'm saying? It's more simple than they would ever figure, or they know this stuff, and they're playing dumb because they don't want us to reach or to bridge that gap and finally reach this age of understanding. Once you understand the holes in the Big Bang Theory, and you know that the universe is infinite static, everything comes into focus a lot better. Everything, all of the physics problems are solved. See, plasma cosmology, look at it. Okay, it looks like the universe looks. It looks like plasma. It's so obvious. It's so obvious they do not want us knowing this. Now, since the universe is quarks and leptons, or this nuclear energy, which is alpha, and this negative or electronic energy, which is omega, you have the alpha and omega, all right? These two fundamental forces in the universe, all right? Now, when this explodes, all of this strong force that holds this nucleus together is going to turn into black holes. It's going to be spread out throughout the universe as black holes, okay? So a black hole is pure strong force energy. It's pure strong force, okay? You cannot see into a nucleus using a regular microscope because light particles are too big. Light particles cannot pass through the nucleus, all right? So we have to use electron telescopes to be able to see that small, all right? This is why light will not go through a black hole or pass anywhere through a black hole. And the strong force pulls it in because it's literally just pure strong force, all right? This all becomes dark matter, okay? The electronegative static in the universe is dark matter. All right? So the reason why we can't see it with our electronic devices is because they're electronic devices. And this is electronegative energy in electronegative static. So it's completely invisible to our electronic equipment. See what I'm saying? Now the dark energy, once this grows from its microparticles, from 0-point energy, all right, Heisenberg energy, and string theory pulls all of this together, that gravity essentially goes from microgravity, or gravitons, to regular gravity. But as it grows, it goes beyond regular gravity and then goes 2 times regular gravity, all right? Once it explodes, it sheds that extra gravity, okay, and leaves fundamental gravity behind. That is the weight of it. That's the dark energy, okay? It's shedding that weight, that extra gravity, and that becomes the dark energy. See, it's a lot simpler than anyone would ever expect. People think it's all these real complicated things, but when you understand that the universe is infinite static and the Big Bang Theory has a complete hole in it, and that the universe is really plasma, then everything starts looking a lot easier and coming together a lot better. Just like the cat problem. The cat problem exists because they think that there was no space existing, and they're trying to apply time to space that is infinite, which has no time. You know, it has no beginning and no end. Therefore, you cannot apply time to it because time is a measurement, and you cannot quantify infinity. So they have the cat problem. Okay? The proton spin crisis. This microverse shares the same space, all right? We just can't see it. It's 0-point energy. These microparticles, this microverse has particles that have fractional spins and fractional charges, microfractional charges, okay? So where we have a 1.5, there should be a 1.5 point literally on a fractional number, a fractional fraction of a number, okay? That's where these proton spin crisis comes into place because there are microfractional charges and microfractional spins. And if we're going to emulate the sun and use the energy, we're going to have to use thermodynamics to be able to do so. All right? And P-type and N-type, lithium and fluorite or fluorine, where it's electronegative, and lithium has more of a positive charge, these are good P-type and N-type materials. You can create a really good superconductor. All right? And using gold and carbon, you have your precision resistance. You have a negative and you have a positive. All right? You have what would create an arc here, okay? Now, if you put ionized hydrogen in a magnetic field and you use that arc to fuse the ionized hydrogen and helium-4 nuclei, which is helium, which is alpha particles, then you can simulate or emulate the sun exactly, okay? Because you have these positives and you use a negative, an arc, or this negative energy, this electronegative charge, to be able to fuse these particles together, creating a unified field, okay? And it's cold fusion. You literally do not have to have a whole bunch of heat. Of course it's hot, but it can be done at room temperature. And ironically, 0-point energy, and that's basically what Heisenberg was working on, all right? He knew. He was onto something. He was trying to create a bomb which tears things apart, but he was closer to solving fusion if you research his work. And Tesla, everybody knows that Tesla was in on this stuff, and he was very interested in this stuff, and that's exactly why, of course, he based everything off the pyramids. You know, the pyramids are a transmitter and a receiver. Ironically, they're set up just like a crystal radio or in a Tesla coil. They have all the same components, okay? See, so the frequency that he talked about in space is literally the static. It's the electrostatic universe. And that's why he had such a good rap sheet when it come to harnessing frequencies, because he knew this. The infinite static universe. He knew that the universe was infinite static plasma. Okay? That's why all of his work coincides with frequencies and plasma. And that's why they put all of his stuff on the back burner. They don't want people knowing this. And Heisenberg, how much do you hear about Heisenberg? He was just as close as well, Oppenheimer, of course, succeeded in creating the bomb, but Heisenberg had his contributions, but you hardly hear anything about him. See, they put all this stuff on the back burner because they think that if we know this, then we are literally going to destroy ourselves. And it's very possible that's the truth. So it seems to me that this is the universe and the true God.
Yes, what's it look like?
Okay.
It's thinking. I mean, this could be. It's not a human mind. I mean, look at this. They're like neurons firing.
Microsupernova.
Instructor's lab, I saw some fairly advanced robotics. They deep six the data, but
So if plasma is everything that is alive or living energy, then this is some type of living energy. It's animated. It's just because it doesn't have a heartbeat or what we would consider alive doesn't mean that it's not alive. Just like a star. A star is born, it has its lifetime, its stellar evolution, and its death. This is no different. But no matter what happens in the universe, the flat plane of existence is still going to exist. Even if all this matter disappears, there's still going to be empty space.